Texas takes a big one from Alabama. Isaiah Bond is off the board, no longer in the transfer portal because moments ago he announced his intentions to transfer to Texas. Now, that's big news, but there could be even more on the way. But first, we got to go back to 2024. There's some smoke that one of Texas's top 2024 signees might be trying to ask out of his letter of intent. I got Gerry Hamilton with me. He's going to take us behind the scenes of all these recent developments and make it make sense. But first, Texas fans, hit subscribe. Nick Saban has retired. Texas is moving to the SEC. What an off season we have ahead of us. Go ahead, hit subscribe for me, please. All right. Let's bring on three national analyst Gerry Hamilton. We'll get to the other stuff in a minute, but let's stay in the transfer portal for a second. Washington cornerback Jabar Muhammad met with Texas last night. Now, he is originally from DeSoto, Texas. So what are you hearing? Is there a possibility he could be transferring to the Longhorns?
Well, Texas is definitely in it. Oregon was also in Dallas and met with Muhammad and his family on Saturday. Then Texas defensive backs coach Terry Joseph, came in to Dallas as well and met with Muhammad and the family. The next part of that is, look, Muhammad's scheduled as of today to visit Texas next week, late next week, or next weekend. We'll see if that continues to be scheduled out. I think Oregon went into yesterday with the lead, and I think the Ducks continue to have the lead right now. But Texas is making it a battle. I think if all things were equal, Jabar Muhammad might like to play his last season a little closer to home, but we'll see if that actually happens.
Potential plug-and-play guy right there, Gerry?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, look, Terrence Brooks, Manny Muhammad, his cousin, both coming back at corner for Texas. Gavin Holmes also signed a lot of really good players in that secondary, obviously. But Jabar Muhammad is a big-time talent, the corner position. He would definitely be a guy that I would pencil in to be a starter if he were to transfer to Texas. I think the same could be said for Oregon, by the way. But yeah, he would be a guy that starts, plays a lot, and has a big impact on the secondary, which at times did struggle in coverage last year.
All right, well, those transfer dominoes are falling fast. We'll keep an eye on that one. Now, another transfer that we got on campus Saturday in Austin was Alabama linebacker Kendrick Blackshire. Now, he's a veteran linebacker. He goes 6'2", 245 pounds. How important is he to Texas, and what are you hearing about their chances of landing him?
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is in that as well, right? Yeah. But Texas needs that adult, experienced, downhill inside linebacker. Right, that's what they need with the Jalen Ford moving on to the NFL. They have some young talent linebacker guys still filling out their frames, a little more inexperienced players. But Kendrick Blackshire, with that move to the SEC, as you mentioned in the open, Josh, that's a big move for Texas. They need larger human beings at some positions, and Blackshire obviously would be one of those guys at inside linebacker. He would definitely fill a need for Texas, especially kind of as they transition some of their younger players to be more experienced players.
All right, just watch Ole Miss with Blackshire as well. Now, we teased at the top. What is going on with Devontre Robinson? He's a top 300 defensive lineman out of Orlando. He goes 6'4", 315 pounds, and rumor has it he's asking out of his letter of intent. Gerry, what's happening?
Yeah, I talked to Devontre Thursday and Friday, and he had talked to Steve Sarkisian. He said 5 times since the news of Bo Davis leaving, going to LSU hit. And I will say this, he's definitely considering asking for a release from his letter of intent. Mm-hmm. That's definitely in play. I think if that were to happen, I think you could look at Florida and I think you could look at LSU as the 2 main possibilities. I think Auburn's also would have some interest there. But really, I think it would come down to Florida and LSU if he goes through with that and Texas were to release him from his letter of intent. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see if Texas has their D-line hire and they at least want Devontre to have a conversation or two with that D-line hire before Texas decides what to do with that national letter of intent.
So what's the hang up here? Is it cold feet on moving from Florida to Texas, or is it the fact that Texas lost their D-line coach?
It's Bo Davis on this one. I mean, that's who he had connected with. Tashard Choice obviously was part of that recruitment. He's the area recruiter for Texas in that Orlando and Tampa area. But this is really Bo Davis. This was Bo Davis. That's who he had the relationship with. That was his guy. And that was a big reason. When he committed July 20th, he said, the development with Bo Davis was a huge piece for his decision to go to Texas over Florida at the time. So I think Bo Davis moving on to LSU would definitely be the reason that DeAndre asks out of that letter of intent if Texas releases him.
Weird situation there, but we will keep an eye on it. All right. Big addition right before we had you on, Gerry. Isaiah Bond commits to Texas now. Texas also has Houston wide receiver Matthew Golden already added. How big of an addition is Isaiah Bond to this Texas offense?
I think it's a huge addition because he runs 10.5 or 10.4, whichever one you want to call it, on his FAT personal best, right? He stretches the field vertically in a big way. I think in a way that Texas didn't even have this year. As fast as Xavier Worthy was, he was more of a guy you threw it to and let him go, right? But we're talking about just straight vertical speed, take the top off the defense, press those safeties to stay back in coverage, and then you put him with Matthew Golden. I mean, those are two dynamic guys in the kick return game as well, potentially. I mean, Matthew Golden obviously has 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns last year for the Cougars, but I think those guys blend well together. But that's 2 adults in the room at wide receiver now. There's no doubt, and they're different players. That's the thing about it. But there is nobody on the Texas roster that can turn and burn down the field like Isaiah Bond. That is a big addition for the Longhorns.
Huge addition, and now it looks like Texas trying to add some pieces to the defensive side of the ball out of the portal as well. Gerry Hamilton, thanks for dropping by the Inside Scoop, breaking it all down for us.
You got it.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.